Yes, Anjali.
Hi,
After a lot of
R&D.
uh, struggling, and yes, after a lot of struggling and after a lot of R&D, we are finally here. So first and foremost, my apologies to all the viewers uh, for all this delay in, we had told you 4 o'clock, and it's almost 5:30 now, but we were really struggling. Anyways, good evening and welcome to this chat with Dr. Anjali Tarvalkar. Anjali Tarvalkar is an MD gynecologist, and before introducing her, I would like to take this opportunity and wish each one of you a very happy, safe, and healthy 2021. Although I know it's 12 days that we are in 2021, but healthy 2021, because we all know what we have gone through in 2020, and health being very critical factor for each of us, but seldom taken seriously. I thought that, at the beginning of the year, and also since January is the month designated specifically for cervical cancer or cervical health, rather, awareness. I took this opportunity and I said in the beginning of the year, let us, take this opportunity and the seldom taken seriously health, which is moreover true for women. I said, let us take this opportunity and invite someone like Dr. Anjali to speak to us and, give us her, share with her or impart her knowledge about cervical health, and, which is very critical to women again. And let us see how we plan to remain healthy this year. You are all a part of this chat, so you can start asking questions, and if there are any questions, we would be really very happy and glad to answer. We is Anjali, not me, definitely. And we would be happy, Anjali would be happy to answer those questions to people who are not a part of this chat, or who are going to view this later on. For them also, they would, they can put in their questions here, so that we will see how Anjali gets back and answers those questions, or we want to have another session, and where the questions would be answered. But at least we would like to know what are your queries and what are your questions with regards to cervical health, because that is what we are going to focus and talk on today. It's not in general gynecology, but it is very, very specific to cervical health and cervical disease. So Anjali, a practicing gynecologist, MD gynecologist, practicing for 25 years. Like I said before, I'll say again today, I don't like to keep saying this, practicing gynecologist for more than 25 years, because somewhere it reflects on her age. And I don't like to show that she is really, growing, I will not say old, but, in age. So, of course, that is, but experience is something that counts. So that's the reason why I'm saying 25 years she's been practicing at Koinur Hospital. She has her own clinic in Phoenix Market City, and she's practicing at Fauziya Hospital, and there are several other places where she practices. And above all, a very dear and a close friend of mine to me. I'm really blessed to have her in my life, and to which I want to thank my daughter Chaitravi, because she's the one, who put us both together, and now we are inseparable for several years. So having said that, and yes, cervical health is something which is very, very dear and close to Dr. Anjali's heart. It's her mission, rather, a vision, and she's then on the mission to almost eradicate cervical cancer, which of course will take some time, but she is, trying to develop people under her who can take this cause forward and do a lot of things in particularly something known as colposcopy, which she's going to talk to us about. And without wasting much of anybody's time, I would like to start, and I'm going to throw this first question on Anjali, which may sound very absurd to all, but I think, that is the crux of everything that we are going to talk about. And Anjali, my first question to you is: what is the probability of a woman getting cervical cancer or cancer of the cervix? What is the probability?
Anybody who has cervix can get cervical cancer. So one should know that it's 100% for a lady who gets it, and it's 100% for the family who has to suffer it. So every lady should be aware about cervical cancer, and she should definitely be taking the tests or the detection. First place is that you must know about your cervix. That is very, very important. Otherwise, we all fall prey to this, like, gynecologist is supposed to do only deliveries, and then they are your bestest of the friends when you're pregnant. But after that, you get into your life, your own career, your husband's career, and then your children's bringing up. All those things start, and gynecologist takes a backseat. That's where the problem starts, and that's exactly when the cervical cancer starts entering in by the means of HPV. So we'll talk about that later.
Yes, yes. No, why I asked you this question is because uh, we all have women around us, in our families, amongst our friend circles, and all that. And what I have always observed or I have seen is breast cancer is something that is always heard of. That is heard of people. I know of a lot of very near and dear ones who have, actually suffered cancer, but I can't really identify a single case of cervical cancer, and that's the reason why I wanted to. But what we hear is that is another one very prevailing cancer amongst women, which is so. That's the reason why I wanted to first ask you this question: what is the probability, and what is some statistics where you can tell us how many or how frequently women are.
See, every 7 minutes, Sonal, one lady is dying of cervical cancer. There are 76,000 ladies dying of cervical cancer only in
In
India.
India.
New detections are almost double. And if you've not heard of it, or if you're really not that much aware of the gravity of the situation, just imagine what our local or our people will be really knowing, or our ladies will be knowing about it. Chances are very few and fickle. If you ask me the statistics, approximately the reproductive age group may only 4% people are even screened. This is the statistics coming from the various cancer or various pap smear doing authorities. So when I'm telling you this, I mean to say is that facilities are available, doctors are available. You should just have the awareness that you have a cervix, and that can give you trouble. So go to a gynecologist and get yourself tested.
Mhm. Yes, I mean, every 7 minutes of women passing away by cervical cancer. It really shows that it's really something very critical and something. So, can you, Anjali, then now explain to us what exactly is the cancer of the
Now,
cervix, or
for that, see,
what?
everybody knows about cervical collar, okay? But cervix is not related to this
Yes.
portion. It is related most. Can you see this diagram? I'm sure it's like well known to everybody has learned about the internal genital system of a female. So this portion is the cervix, and this is just a small portion of 1.5 to 2 centimeters. It joins vagina and the uterus. So it's lying in between, more susceptible to a lot of changes that are happening in its skin, and easily more exposed after the first sexual intercourse to various pathogens. Now, vagina may be laden with certain HPV viruses and things like that, but there are certain viruses that will enter into the cervical crypts and the epithelium or the skin of the cervix. So, during low immune status, the viruses always attack. That I'm sure everybody now knows about virology. So, what I mean to say is that this is the cervix, and this is where, when there is unnatural growth or unnatural ulcerations, or there are unnatural changes that happen in the cervix, those changes need to be pointed out, or they need to be screened, or they need to be seen. So, you need to go to a gynecologist right from the age when you start having first intercourse. 3 years later than that, you must start seeing a gynecologist for at least a pap smear.
Yeah.
Well, that's something which is available in India very widely. Okay, See now, as you said that I'm passionate about cervical cancer, so I'm trying to, pinpoint things at a probably in a shorter time. So I do a test wherein I do a test for only 10 minutes, but I check out everything. I do HPV screening, I do liquid based cytology, which is a little higher of pap smear, and then I also, of course, check the cervix by doing various tests on the cervix, and that's all about colposcopy. It's a small test, it's not a big test, but checks the cervix quite thoroughly.
Okay. I have a question over here. Someone is asking, how does a female know that she has cervix? I mean, what are the symptoms? Nayab, if you're listening, if you can hear me, are you talking about cervix cancer, or because cervix is something that every lady has? Dr. Anjali just showed us. Dr. Anjali, can you just show us again which part of your,
This is the part of the uterus. This is the uterus that you can see. And then this is the cervix. Cervix is a lower part of the uterus. And cervix is not seen because, see, vagina is a closed organ. This is a cross-sectional model that you all are seeing. So vagina is a closed organ unless you open it up and there is darkness inside. So, you have to throw a white light to check onto the cervix. So that's how when we say that breast cancer becomes obvious because you can feel it. We always try telling you to do self-breast examination. You cannot feel the cervix. If you feel the cervix, that means it has come down. Those are some of the conditions which are non-cancerous. But being aware about the cervix is something that everybody must know that they have one.
What are the causes? What are the causes of cervical cancer? And like somebody is asking over here, what are some of the symptoms that cervical cancer could have?
Yeah, see, everything boils down to what causes it, and Dr. Google tells you all. Okay, in my clinical practice, I'll tell you one thing. See, this virus has been there in the vagina. There are nearly 160 to 180 strains of this virus. Virus name is human papilloma virus. It causes warts also on the skin, and there are types which can later on cause the cancer in the cervix. So this virus one should know about a little because it causes cervical cancer and it does have a vaccine too. So this HPV is the virus which causes it. It's a lifestyle disease because basically it is sexually transmitted infection that converts into a cancer. So normally when you hear about cancer, cancer just happens. It's never following an infection or it doesn't follow a simple route. Whatever is abnormal is considered cancer, right? But if you detect the cancer forming HPVs in your cervix, then you can be a little more alert about the certain high risk factors. So when we start talking about the main cause, it may be HPV, but the high risk starts in your lifestyle. So if you're smoking, 8 times more chances. If you have multiple sexual partners, more chances. When we talk about all these things, these are lifestyle things. There is nothing that I need to comment on how to bring down your smoking or how to bring down your partners. I'm not telling you that. Everybody is aware what they are going through, and that awareness should be reflected on your health check. So you should check, suppose a lady who falls into this high risk category. High risk category also includes, see, when it's a cervix, it's a mouth of the uterus. So whenever it gets or it has any changes in that time there are chances that you may develop this cancer or there can be some abnormality. So when will all these things can happen? Multiple abortions, in which obviously the cervix opens or closes, multiple infertility treatment and the efforts to perform procedures for infertility, if there are multiple childbirths. So These are some of the factors in which a lady should know that, oh, I'm falling into all these criteria, might as well do my testing on time. So, what is that we will discuss in the next session. But second part of your question was symptoms.
Symptoms.
See,
Yeah.
there can be no symptoms at all, Sonal. One can be as healthy and as laughing as anyone. Initial stages, there may be some little discharge. Later on, this discharge becomes watery, foul smelling, and it doesn't get treated with the routine antifungals and antibacterial medications and things like that. In spite of managing a good personal hygiene, still it doesn't really get managed. So, this kind of recurrent vaginal infections keep happening. There is right time for you to see a gynec and get your cervix checked. Second part is postmenopausal and post intercourse bleeding. So, if you have that kind of a bleeding, then that's one of the symptoms, but it happens little in advanced stage. And lastly, severe pain in the lower abdomen, not related to periods, but constantly being there, is something that you should be aware. And same thing, you should be aware about your elders in the family as well. They don't want to see, like you said, there are people do discuss about breast cancer. At least people don't talk about cervical cancer because this is all about their internal kind of an organ, and they don't want to discuss. We see so many ladies who are brought by their daughter-in-laws to us, and because they are never comfortable, and obviously their symptoms start only atta attat suru zale 5 days back, 1 week back. But then when we check the cervix, we know that the symptoms were there all throughout, at least not less than 3 to 5 years. So the thing is that the tenure of this disease, or the disease, takes long time to really happen. You get a lot of big windows to get yourself checked. Never miss a chance to check yourself. Yourself means come to a gynaec.
Yeah. Come to a gynaec and have it checked. Oh, oh, I understand. Nayab, is your question answered? She would tell us if the question is answered. So we were talking some times back, Anjali, and I said, as a doctor, you will also agree that prevention is better than cure. And for something like a cervical cancer, where there are no symptoms in the early stage, or like a breast cancer, at least if you feel on your breast and you can find out that there's something wrong with the breast. Cervical in the cervix, you really cannot enter into and see themselves. So for in that situation, as a prevention, what are some of the things that you would recommend as a doctor to
See,
our friends?
um, if you're sexually active, then start doing pap smears or start doing the screening 3 years down the lane, and every 3 yearly at least.
Okay.
If you have crossed the stage of 40,
Mhm.
then that's the time you do an yearly check with your pap smears minimum. And if you're more than 50, then till you're 60, at least do 2 yearly check. Why little eased out at that age? Because new cases don't come. If you're regularly doing your paps, then there are no chances that you will get the disease. But early stages, like between 40 and 50s, that's the time that the chances of getting cervical cancer is very high, or chances of getting or seeing or diagnosing the changes is very high. So that's the time we must screen our ladies every yearly. So I try to do here at Colpovision a comprehensive check. We do colposcopy, we do pap smear, and we do HPV testing as well. For, I mean, up to 25, up to 40, and then 40 onwards.
So how frequently is a colposcopy recommended? How frequently is a pap smear recommended?
I told you about pap smear, that before 25 it will be recommended once in 3 years at least.
Yeah. Yes.
Colposcopy is recommended when there are multiple pap smears showing some disease. or they are showing that there are certain changes in the cervix which are not really easy acceptable just as infection. Thirdly, as a routine for the age of 40s, colposcopy can be a part and parcel of your routine check, and you can easily do it once in 3 years along with HPV testing and pap smear or liquid based cytology.
Okay.
And we have been doing camps also,
Yeah.
Sonal. So we try to uh, give the benefit to all the people who were above 40
Mm-hmm.
while doing colposcopy and
Also,
PAPs. But before that,
Anjali,
HPV testing is a better option too
okay.
for the youngsters.
Any of these are blood tests or they're all internal testings and
There are all
colposcopy? I know.
internal testings. They all are internal testings
Okay.
because cervix lies
Mm-hmm.
inside. It needs to be flashed with the white light, and then see, we all shed. People who are having pets should know that the hair of the pet are shed in the house,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So similarly, we are also shedding ourselves. So the cervix cells are shed in the mucus which is hanging over there. Mucus is a sticky discharge. So in that discharge, there will be cells. What we do is we collect this discharge. Now everybody knows about swab test nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, a swab is used and it's gently collected. We do collect this material and then we send it for further studies. As we get the report, we know that, oh, it's not like all the cells are not walking normally. Some are walking zigzag, and we know that there can be some problem later.
Okay. Okay. Also, sometimes back, I remember, Anjali, there were some injections that were recommended for this prevention of
Yeah.
cervical cancer. So, can you just tell us a little bit about that?
See, there are two type of injections. There are injections which are given only to prevent cervical cancer.
Mm-hmm.
These are, anti-HPV kind of. So they means they will create antibody response in your body. They work as any vaccine works.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's one part that gives you protection against cervical cancer. And there is another quadrivalent vaccine. That means it protects you against four viruses. So it gives you additional protection for the warts also, or the genital warts also. So these are the two injections which are available in Indian market. Both the injection, the entire tenure is of 6 months. Like one vaccine, which is quadrivalent, you have to take one vaccine today. The second vaccine, you will take it 2 months later, and the third vaccine, you will take it 4 months after that. So in 6 months, you're completing the vaccine.
Okay. 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 And at what age
You can
can you start?
start the vaccine right at the age of 9
Okay.
till you're 45
So
years now.
even before a girl starts
Yes,
menopause,
yes.
sorry, mensing, even before the girl starts with her periods,
Yes,
she can
yes,
start.
you can give. See, menstruation happens, and that time is the cervix thoda exposed to the HPV first time that way.
So for a girl of 9, from a girl,
And nowadays, Sonal, girls do get their menses
yes,
even at 9 o'clock. So,
yes, 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 at the age of 9, that is true. There are a lot of girls who start menstruating at the age of 9 these days. But and so if a girl of 9 years old, age, takes this vaccine, how, what is the probability of her
very low chances. As of now, no boosters were given to anybody who has taken the first batch of HPV vaccine. So, no boosters required. You just have to complete the schedule of the
three,
total 6 months,
three
three
vaccines?
vaccines.
Okay. So the chances of these girls who have got vaccinated at an early stage to contract this
Yes, all
disease is minimal, right? So we spoke about cure, we spoke about prevention, and apart from this cervical cancer, so when we're speaking about cervical health on the whole, cervical cancer is one which is the cancer anyways is the most deadly for any of the organs. But apart from cancer, are there any other ailments that this particular organ can contract, and
They
which may not be as severe as cancer, but which needs to be treated, or it can further go and create something wrong?
again, the examination remains the same.
Okay.
Like for any disease detection also, you need to do an internal examination, because cervix will not be seen on sonography also. As you said that some blood tests can be done, no.
Mhm.
You cannot detect any pathology in cervix by any of the routine methods. Like, ha, sonography to kiya na, everybody thinks that way. But for cervix, you need to see to check things. So there can be ulcerations, we call them erosions. There can be, kind of polyps or some small masses. There can be warts. There can be sometimes fibroids popping out of the cervix also. There are patients who are having fibroids inside the uterus. Sometimes, they kind of try coming down as well. So various things can happen in the cervix,
Mhm.
which get diagnosed when you are checking them. As it is, cervix is a very important organ even for fertility, because the internal lining of the cervix decides whether the sperms can get mature and go inside. So, there has to be a different, I mean, cervix is an important organ for all the ages. So, it's just that, I feel that today's session, if everybody takes their cervix seriously, then I think the health can be propagated.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Since a month entirely is dedicated for the awareness of its ailments or its health, like this month January, and this is designated uh, entirely in the world.
yes,
And I'm sure it must really be having that kind of implications. It must be having that kind of severity, and that's the reason why it's taken so much seriously. And if the world is doing it, why not us? We also would have to, and it's always better to take it seriously. So Anjali, before we wind up, one last question: how costly or cost effective are all these various tests that we are talking about? And because and are there any institutions also which for and this particularly I'm asking because I also work with women who are not economically that the same. So for them, are there any institutions which provide, and also by overall how cost effective are these tests to be done regularly if one really decides to do it?
um, see, Sonal, the cost of getting cancer or
I
not
understand. I
not
understand.
detecting cancer
Yes.
is definitely much more than the cost of the tests. And as you said, that we as doctors also started, like the Foxy. There are so many bodies which are actually doing a lot of work in this cervical cancer. There is a movement which is going to eradicate cervical cancer by 2030. So every gynecologist is a part of that. But then, okay, this is all about private. In private, the costs can range, say, for colposcopy and pap smear from 5,000 to 10,000. But these things all are being done by Indian Cancer, by Tata Memorial Hospital. They have a prevention sector also. Sonal, in spite of, there are so many NGOs also are doing it. Lions Club, Rotary Club. There are so many clubs and NGOs. They keep on doing these kind of pap smear tests and pap smear camps. But there are, see, what happens is for an individual, as I said, it's 100% disease. So one should try to, like, manage it at one individual level. That there should be a promise to yourself that I will prevent cervical cancer in me and my near and dear ones, and I will prevent breast cancer also. We'll definitely talk about it in the next month. So, but this particularly has to be an understanding with yourself, because it's your body that you're going to subject it for an examination to somebody. So it can be a healthcare worker, it can be a camp person, it can be anybody. But getting the results in your hand, storing the results, and then repeating the test and showing that kind of consistency in doing your uh, this cervix, or ensuring that your cervix is healthy is extremely important.
Absolutely. I do understand, and I do understand where you come from, because like I said before, and I'll again say, prevention is also better than cure, because once it is contracted, it is not just getting it cured, but it physically, but also the mental status of the person who is going through, and the entire family has to go through that kind of a situation wherein it's not really very healthy, not really very happy situation. So it's really true. And ultimately it's like you said, people get a little bit of cold and cough, and they're asked to do x-rays and sometimes even CT scans and all of that, and we are willing to spend like 5,000 and 6,000 and 7,000 on those things. But this is something for prevention. We are always like, जाने दो क्यों खर्चा करना है. That is the mindset that we all come from. And
नहीं, वो जाने दो खर्चा is also one thing, सोनल. तो मुझे क्या हुआ है, मुझे क्या होने वाला है,
yeah.
it's like that ना.
Yes, we are always in denial. We are always in denial कि हम पर ही हो सकता है
I
कि
do all good practices, है ना.
yes. I understand. I know. I mean, I can completely relate with a lot of these things that you were speaking, and I'm sure.
A simple 10 minutes test, Sonal. Anybody can do it. It's not really a major, obstacle. But just one has to, decide with themselves with total determination that I want to do it. Best time to do it, after, say, on the 10th or 12th day of your period.
Okay.
That's the time when cervical mucus is like thin. We see the cervix properly. And it just takes 10 minutes, really.
So my sincere request to all my dear friends who are watching us and who will be watching this small piece of video later on is that make health. Let us all, me included, because Anjali knows what I am and how I am. Let us all make health a priority also, because as it is said, "Jaan hai to jahan hai." And we all save money for we want to buy a mobile. We all save money for we want to buy gold. We all save money for a lot of things that we wanted to do. It may be a small purse, handbag, or a slippers and chappals to wear. I think we should all start saving money, and something like colposcopy. If colposcopy, Anjali, you said it can be done once in 3 years.
Yes, it can be done once in 3 years, because we are, along with that also, we are adding on to so
Yes.
many
So I think
tests. Na?
we have enough time to save money for doing that procedure once in 3 months, and pap
Yes.
smear and all. I'm sure it's not that expensive once a year, but those are not really very expensive.
No, not
Tests.
at all.
We
No,
go
not
we
at
go
all.
to the roadside ठेला वाला and we spend 500 rupees these days. यार एक दो चीज toast sandwich खा लेते हैं तो it is as good as we spend 500 rupees. So I mean,
True.
we should all really take these things in our stride. And Anjali, what I like what you said is that it's not just about us, but we have elderly women in the family in the house. In fact, I now stand in the bracket of the elderly women, so I really don't know whether I should be saying this.
Don't.
But this is
Don't stand there, because anyway nobody believes.
yeah, so
Sometimes
that's
even the mental age.
mental age. I know. And but anyways, I mean, my recommendation to all my lovely nieces and my little daughter-in-laws and my numerable students. Nayab, who asked the question, is also one of my students, Anjali. So my numerable students, who have seen this video just now and will be seeing this video later on, it is not just for you, but also your mothers, mother-in-laws. I think we are the ones who are. It's our duty towards them. They have done a lot when we were young or our husbands were young. Now I think it's our duty. It's our time that we should take their health also in stride, and in particularly the cervical health thing. So let all of us vouch, or let all of us take this one kind of a oath today that we are all going to this year. At some point of in time during this year, we will all go through some of these tests, whatever are really required, and we will take care of our cervical health.
Yes.
On that note, let me thank Dr. Anjali on behalf of all of us. It was a lovely session, and Dr. Anjali, we will be coming back to you. Today was cervical health, but we will be coming back to you on other gynec issues. Some lot of these ladies and lot of our young girls are going through, which we will be talking to you about soon. Thank you so
Thank
much
you so
for all
much.
your guidance and support.
Yeah. So now back to our masks.
Yes, yes.
And back to
And I'm
patients.
sure, yes, yes, yes. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Anjali. Thank you, ladies, and thank you everybody who's watched us here today. Thank you. Bye.